There's a link to an editorial in the video description as well if you guys want to have a look at that. That will give you some more information about the drone that's just been released, who it's for, whether it's for you or not, but also where it fits into the market. There's been a lot of confusion in the community about who is the Mavic Mini for and why would I buy this when I've already got a Mavic 2. Well, my view on that is that it's not really competing with the regular Mavic range. This is a new class of drone. It's sub 250 grams. It's nowhere near as capable, but that's the whole point of it. It's for people who need something that's highly portable. Hey, Sean, Geeksvana. Hey, Duncan. Hey, Henrik. Johnny, Jerry, Mohad. Yeah, please review as soon as possible. So we just wait for a few more people to join. So comment, what do you think about the drone in general? What's your views on it? Do comment below. Doug, question, does this redeem Drone DJ? No, it doesn't. And if you think it does, then please watch that video that I put out before. The whole purpose of that video is not talking about the DJI Mavic Mini as not being real. I said right at the beginning of the video that it's probably real because I've seen photos, but it's when people start publishing specifications, price, weight, flight time, before it's actually known as fact, especially when they're just based on guesswork. And actually, if you look at one element such as flight time, the early estimations or guesswork, as I said, they very rightly were proven to be exactly that. Nobody said 30 minutes flight time. I think estimations around 15, 16. So there you go. That's the whole point of the video that I put out before, is to call out people for distributing fake news, guesswork, specifications which are just not real. Now we've got facts. Now we can talk about facts. But until we've got facts, just make very clear that it's speculation. And I didn't like those articles, the fact that it said it will cost this, it will fly for this amount of time. Yeah. Hey guys, thanks very much for joining. Hey Bob, good to see you there, Bob. Lou, hey William. Geeksvana, yes, we do need a droning on review. So yeah, oddly, DJI made the decision not to send the Mavic Mini to me and many other content creators that I've chatted with a lot. Channels that are larger than mine as well haven't got one. I don't know why they've made that decision. I suspect they were very, very worried about leaks, ironically, over the last couple of releases. And for that reason, I think they withheld sending this product early to some reviewers, including, unfortunately, Droning On, which I've expressed my disappointment to DJI about that, because I like to think that my reviews are very unique, honest, and real. Much better than the on launch type reviews that you get from many other reviewers, which are just all about the hype. Whereas I'll always talk about the positives and negatives and leave most of it up to you guys to decide. It does look like a great drone indeed, Brad. I think my disappointments are so far in the 2.7K camera. I would have liked to have seen it equipped with the same camera as the Osmo Pocket. That would have meant 4K, 60 frames a second. I know that would have pleased a lot of people. I think the other big issue that people are going to be complaining about is the fact that it is Wi-Fi. I've not looked into this specifically yet, but it looks like it's not using anything proprietary. It's standard Wi-Fi, and that does mean limited range, of course, as well. Having said that, there is nothing else on the market like the Mavic Mini right now. I don't know many of you know why Droning On started, but it was because of a drone called Zano, which launched a while ago, disappointed many people because the early production models just didn't work. It was a crowd-funded campaign. And ever since then, we've been looking for a lightweight portable drone. My go-to drone has always been Dobby, because Dobby is literally, it fits in the palm of your hand. It does genuinely fit in your pocket, but it was limited to 1080p. But it was smaller than Spark and a great little drone. We are now looking at Mavic Mini. That's the only retail available drone right now of that size and with that capability. Brushless motors, brushless gimbal, and it's 3-axis as well. If you look at the editorial article in the chat, the only competition that the Mavic Mini possibly had was Microdrone 4. But that drone is far less advanced. It uses brushed motors, not brushless, and it's got a brushed 2-axis gimbal. So you're not going to have the resolution that you get in the brushless motors of the Mavic Mini. Let's see what else. Xenon, Parrot Bebop 2. Yeah, Bebop 2 is a good drone, but again, the Bebop 2 is it's not a big drone, but it is a big drone in comparison to the Mavic Mini. So again, it depends. I wouldn't look at the Mavic Mini as an upgrade to any drone you have, except for the DJI Spark. That really is where the Mavic Mini fits as a viable upgrade. If you've already got something like an original Mavic Pro, then that's probably a more capable drone than the Mavic Mini, besides flight time, of course. But if flight time is more important to you than video resolution, and then that's a decision you have to make. Brad, I just saw your comment. Not sure about that. Ping me an email, perhaps. Not quite sure why you're not able to comment on Twitter. Yeah, people in some of the community were confused about why would I buy the Mavic Mini. So the differences between the Mavic Mini and the Spark 2 primarily are video resolution. So we're looking at 2.7K instead of 1080p. And that is a substantial upgrade, not only because of resolution, but also the technology. If you think about how old the Spark is now, camera sensors have come a long way in that time. You've stuck with 1080p on the Spark, but also an older camera sensor. So you will see a substantial difference. But the big point here is the gimbal. You've got a 3-axis gimbal on the Mavic Mini, whereas you only have a 2-axis gimbal on the Spark. And that means when the drone rolls like this or yaws like this, you're going to see it on the Spark far more than you would on the Mavic Mini. So if you're frustrated by the quality and smoothness of your Spark footage, that's probably a reason for you to upgrade to the Mavic Mini. For the price, it's not bad, Xenon. I totally agree with you. I think the price is absolutely incredible. Whether it's worth buying the Fly More combo, not quite sure, because you're going to be paying a lot for that prop cage, which you might not ever need to use. Other accessories as well, probably not going to be particularly useful. I've not had time to look very closely. I'm actually not in an ideal setting for this live stream, but I had to get online and talk about it. Is the way that the props attach. Now, I noticed the Fly More combo includes 16 spare screws. Somebody asked the question earlier today, what are the spare screws for? And I'm a little bit worried that they are for attaching the props onto this drone. We need to have a closer look at that. If that is the case, then that would actually quite worry me, I think. I don't like the idea of prop blades being attached by screws, because that's going to potentially lead to problems with these falling out of the air if people aren't attaching them correctly. But correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't had a chance to look in detail yet, and I don't have one yet. Thanks, DJI. By the way, links to it, if you want to have a look at it, are in the video description below. So do feel free to take a look. Yeah, Gary's just said 2 Phillips screws per motor. That's a real shame. They've done it for weight saving, of course, because the quick release does add weight to a drone, but I think that is possibly a problem there. Brad, it's crazy that the Spark has obstacle avoidance and the Mavic Mini does not. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But again, it all comes down to weight. I mean, comments in the chat, but how often has obstacle avoidance been a necessity for you during a flight? For me, I generally tend to disable it. I find it, I feel more in control if I'm controlling the drone entirely, and if it's not deciding when to slam on the brakes for me. Do you prefer the Skydio 2? Again, they're not comparable drones. Somebody on Twitter, when I ran a poll, said, what about the Skydio 2? Well, Skydio 2 is big, it's heavy, it doesn't fold, it's not a pocket-sized drone. The Mavic Mini is, and they are very, very different types of drone. For example, the Mavic Mini you might bring with you for a park run or to the beach, if you just want a nice selfie shot. Whereas the Skydio 2 is really for sports like the AirDog, for following you, where you don't want to worry about the drone. You're not really a pilot. You just want to send it up there and use its 12 or so cameras to orientate and navigate itself. Yeah, Doug, the guards do look a bit toyish, but also remember that as soon as you attach the prop guards, you're going to be over 249 grams. So if you are buying the Mavic Mini specifically to be under that 250 gram weight threshold, that prop cage is not going to be a lot of use to you. JJ Jones, will you be getting a Mavic Mini? I've been thinking about it ever since it launched. To be honest, I'm not one of these guys that needs to buy things as soon as they arrive. With the Mavic 2, I recommended to everybody out there to wait 3 to 6 months. The reason is things go wrong with new products. And this is a new product. It's another generation of the Mavic series, but it's still a new product, brand new product. I think it's always a good idea to let things iron out for a few months. Let there be hardware revisions, software revisions. Let's see if those props stay on the motors, or if those screws become an issue, and then buy it. So I won't be buying one just now. I'll actually wait to see if DJI offer it to send me one, because they seem to like my reviews as well. Geeksvana Mavic Mini is something very different, going to be popular with the selfie and social media people. Exactly. Yeah, this isn't. I see the Mavic Mini as a go-to drone for when you're flying out of the door and you just want to grab something quick that doesn't need a lot of prep, and that you can fit in the bag without having to compromise on leaving other things at home. Let's face it, this Mavic Mini is not much bigger than a mobile phone in terms of footprint. So you can stick it in a bag even if you're not probably going to use it. Whereas at the moment, I feel every time I take my Mavic 2 out of the door, if I don't use it, I feel like I'm kind of wasting that space. No, not necessarily for a beginner level drone. So you think it'd be a good feature? Yeah, I think so. Considering cancelling your Skydio 2 for Mavic Mini? Well, it depends on what you want out of a drone, as I've just said. Think about how you use your drone. If you need something that's going to follow you autonomously, that you don't need to pilot, Skydio 2 is for you. If you want a drone that is flexible in a few different ways, then perhaps Mavic Mini is good. But if you've got a Mavic already, maybe you don't need either. Marcielo, Banggood or AliExpress? I don't think so yet. I don't know if they have any stock yet either. Um, Lou, if you can't screw in screws, you should be flying a drone. True. Yeah, I'll give you that. Having said that, you could say the same for fitting quick release props, and yet people still connect those improperly and end up losing them mid flight. So, Phantom and the drone, welcome. Can it handle any wind? We think about this, right? Think about a butterfly, think about a bird. You still see them in the windiest of weather and they still manage to stay airborne. It's not necessarily about the weight of something or the size of something, it's about the agility, and the autonomy of it to be able to maintain a hover or to go in the direction that you want to send it in. So I think that's yet to be seen. Spark always surprised me at just how stable it was in pretty naff weather. So I think Mavic Mini may well actually be okay in that respect as well. Lee, the screws are not for fitting the props. DJI has just released a video and they snap on like the normal others. Okay, well, that's good. Somebody else said that they've seen the screws are for the props. So, as I said, I haven't had time to look at this properly yet, and I haven't got one. So, I can't give a clear view on that. Do you think there'd be a chance for active track to be added beyond the automatic modes? This is what interests me in the Skydio a lot. Henrik, possibly, but remember that the Mavic Mini has no autonomous sensors. So it's not like the Skydio in the respect that Mavic Mini understands its surroundings or its landscape. It's very much the case that this drone is for selfies. It's not really for action sports and following you. I see it really as a quick stick it up there selfie drone. By the way, if you guys are joining this for the first time, sorry about the poor production quality. It's unlike this channel, as my regular viewers will tell you, but I'm in the middle of a move abroad at the moment, or for the last 2 months, in fact. Loads going on, and I just haven't had a chance to put together content. But if you like the rest of the content on this channel, click that subscribe button, and please, everybody now watching, click that thumbs up button as well, or click thumbs down if you're miserable. Let's see. Seen Potato Jet put a review in. There's issues with battery with altitude, keeps losing altitude every now and again. Definitely wait until bugs are fixed. So drones losing altitude, sometimes you see that when the drone is underpowered. Possibly, but I can't really comment on that. Happy to stick with the Mavic Air for now. Yeah, both two of which are Wi-Fi drones. Screws for props definitely visible in the DJI photos. Yeah, Gary, it might be worth having a look at this video that the other chap was mentioning. Still looks and sounds better than 90% of the streams out there. Haha, thanks, Geeks Varna. Well, you're actually watching this streaming on a Microsoft Surface laptop. So I'm impressed if it does actually look good. Any other questions or comments about this? Just another recap really on the previous video I put out. That video was calling out specifications being published by other content creators as fact before they are known as facts. And if you look at that video, the last video I put out, it very clearly talks about what was used to create articles saying facts. And if we actually look at the specifications of the Mavic Mini now, you can see that those facts were wrong, especially flight time, which was way off. Ken Heron, hey buddy, it's my buddy Ken. Guys, if you don't know Ken Heron, go and visit his channel. He's great, puts out some really funny content. Ken recently auctioned off a DJI Spark as well, so no doubt Ken will be interested in buying a Mavic Mini to replace that. Ken is starting another super chat. I don't think, Ken, that's actually my first ever super chat in 3 years of YouTube. Although having said that, this is my first ever, my second ever live stream. So that's not bad going, I suppose. Phantom of the drone, will it be quiet? That's a really, really good question. If we have a look at the crops on this little Mavic Mini, let's see, do they look, they don't look like the ultra quiet props that we saw on the newer Mavics, do they? You also tend to find that these smaller drones have very small motors and therefore they need more pitch on the props. That means generally a lot of sound. So I would be very surprised if this is quiet. You tend to find that drones of this scale sound like a little buzzing bee. And if you search my channel for reviews of Dobby or the Wingsland S6, you'll hear that kind of effect. But once you fly it more than 10 meters away from you, you generally won't hear it. Sean, another super chat. That's my third super chat in 3 years of YouTube. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Sean Geeks Varna, by the way, another great up and coming channel, is probably set to hit 10,000 subs by the end of this year. So go and take a look at Sean. Ken, Wi-Fi. Yeah, it is a shame that the Mavic Mini uses Wi-Fi, but then at the same time, this is not a drone to be flying off many, many kilometers like the Mavic, the larger Mavic range. This is a selfie drone, and the community, the market needs something like this and has needed it for 3 years. Microdrone 4.0 from Extreme Flyers is a crowd-funded project running right now. Many, many months late, lots of very disappointed backers who are being refused refunds. This drone is right up their street, and plus, trust me, that campaign ran into many millions of dollars. So those backers will no doubt now be placing their orders for the Mavic Mini as we speak as well. Let's see what else. It's cute with much more affordable price tag. Yeah, indeed. So as the first ever drone, would you recommend the Mini or the Mavic 2 Pro? That's an interesting question from the Flying Welshman. It again comes down to what do you want to use the drone for? If you do want to fly that drone a little further away from you to get some interesting scenic shots, of course, within line of sight, then you might want the Mavic 2 Pro because it's got far better proprietary transmission technology. The Mavic Mini is Wi-Fi. I think the longest I've had out of a Wi-Fi drone, the furthest distance is 900 meters, and that was from Dobby. So that's still within line of sight to give you an idea of range, but maybe it's not far enough for you. Of course, as well, the Mavic 2 is a bigger drone, so you can fly it further away as long as it's in sight. George, yep, your sentiments regarding Microdrone 4 will be shared by most of the Microdrone 4 backers right now, who for only $100 more, just over $100 more, can get a far more capable Mavic Mini. Thanks for joining, Ken. Yeah, really appreciate it. Cheers. Bob, can we fly it closer to people due to its size? Now, let's remember that and I don't want to be the boring drone guy talking about rules and regulation, but let's forget drone regulations just for a minute. It's not all about weight, it's about safety. It doesn't matter how big or small a drone is, just because it's under 250 grams does not mean that all of a sudden you can fly over or in front of people. Most aviation law requires you to have control of the people you're flying it around. That means that they know you're flying it, you've got their permission, in which case you can fly it above and near people. But just being under 250 grams doesn't mean that you can all of a sudden fly it in an audience or in a theatre or above a football match. Absolutely not. If you have the remote from Spark Fly More, can it be used with a Mini? Interesting question, Timothy. I honestly don't know the answer to that question, but that's definitely a very good question. Now questioning if it was right to suggest a Spark to a friend. Phantom of the drone, I think so. Spark, imagine what the price of the Spark is going to do now. It's going to drop right down on the used market. And Spark is a great little drone. Thanks to Ken and the Drone Around the World project, I got to fly the drone and spend a load of time with it, and it's a great little drone. But again, Spark is a selfie drone, and one of the big complaints of Spark is about the minimal range because it's Wi-Fi. Well, it's not designed to be a long-range drone. It's designed to be something to get up there, get a few aerial shots of you and yourself and some landscape, and then bring it back down. So I think you're right to suggest Spark. It's still a great drone. Sean, is Wi-Fi such an issue with line of sight? Exactly. It's not. As I said, I managed to get 900 meters out of a Dobby, which is a tiny drone, probably smaller than the Mavic Mini, in fact, especially in its folded form. 900 meters is plenty. If you search my channel for the Dobby review, you can see that range test, and that was an impressive little drone. Hey, Saigon 98. Hey, L's Meghead. That's an interesting username, like it. I've just bought the Mini Fly More combo. Yeah, that's a great deal because you get the multiple batteries, the charging, the spare props, spare screws as well, 16 spare screws. Let's see. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you've not seen this channel before, do be sure to hit the subscribe button because I probably will get a Mavic Mini and I will do a review of it. I'm in Sweden at the moment. More content coming to the channel very, very soon. Seem to have lost connection. Oh, can you guys? There we go. Hey, AJ. AJ, you've just actually bought it. Yeah, I think to give you an idea of just how popular this drone is, the DJI website actually crashed earlier, went just about 20 minutes after launch. So this drone, I think, is probably going to be about as popular as the original Mavic Pro. And on launch of that drone, it went just crazy. Thank you very much, Brad. That's very kind of you to say. Yeah, I need to put out more content, but it's just been a crazy few months. And to be honest, I've been sitting back and actually flying drones to enjoy it. And when you are a content creator, you start feeling every time you're flying a drone like you have to be putting together content. And it's been quite nice actually to step back for a bit and fly for me. But I will be putting out more content very, very soon. I also found that the market has slowed down. There's far less news than there used to be. And unlike some content creators, I'm not into putting out fake news for the sake of putting together content. So yeah, I put out content when it's worth doing it. Has anyone actually done any reviews on the Mini yet? Apparently there are a few reviews. Ready Set Drone was very lucky, they got one. Unlike me, and I said at the beginning of this video, me and a few other channels larger than me didn't get a pre-release product this time, including Mauro Films, who puts together some great content. He didn't get one either. Apparently it's, well, we believe it's because DJI are trying to reduce their leaks, although it looks like all of the leaked imagery and videos came from China. I put a poll on Twitter recently, and I even suggested to DJI that when they put out pre-release products, they should mark them discreetly or color code a certain part of each product sent to each individual reviewer so that in the event of a leak, they know who did it. I'm not trying to get people in trouble, but at the same time, it is a shame when stuff does leak out early. Let's see, actually from my teller instead of Mavic, Peter McKinnon and Drone Valley have one as well. There you go. So does iJustine. Well, of course, iJustine does. I would air caution around reviews from iJustine and even good old Mr. Casey, because they generally are all about marketing. They're not constructive. They're not real. They will never say that something is crap. They'll just say, buy it. I pride myself on reviews that are balanced and air the positives and the negatives. Yeah, I try to avoid watching iJustine personally. She's aesthetically pleasing, but her reviews are not at all constructive. Phantom of the Drone, can I be controversial? Are we all ready for the 5th of November? Makes a Els Meghead makes a change from the leaks coming from Argos. Indeed, yeah. Do you think the drone will be more difficult to detect in airport security scanners where drones are banned? That's interesting. I travel for my job. I'm in airports almost every other week, and I take a drone with me. And normally, actually, my go-to drone is Dobby if it's a pocket-sized thing. But I also take my Parrot and Arfi everywhere, and I love that drone. And I've not once been pulled over by any security scanners in airports for carrying an Arfi. You may indeed find that the Mavic Mini is so small that you won't get picked up on it anywhere. And in fact, that was certainly the case with Dobby, which most people didn't even know it was a drone in its folded form. Sean, you noticed that Skydio has sent the test drones to action sports type channels. Yeah, and DJI tend to do that as well, but with drones, they generally send them to us drone channels, but not this time, unfortunately. So, yeah, very interesting. We're coming up to the half-hour point anyway, so we'll conclude and wrap up here. Please smash that thumbs up button if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. Links to the Mavic Mini are in the video description just below, and also comment. Come back to this video, comment on the video as well with any afterthoughts that you have so that we can start some discussion. And if you enjoyed this live stream, I'm probably going to be moving more to this format because it is quick and easy, and I have everything all ready to go, including a better webcam. I just haven't had time to do it. But thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Click subscribe if you can, share this video. And yeah, that half an hour went very quick, Sean. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And if you do order a Mavic Mini, tell me all about it, comment, and also join the Droning On Facebook groups, because we have a load of them on lots of different topics, loads of like-minded people in those groups. Anyway, enjoy your Mavic Mini if you've ordered one. I think you will love it. And thank you all for joining. Cheers, guys.